We're live. Hi, guys. It worked. There's Andy Vibora. Hey, welcome. You guys just travel Lane County, and I want to tag Rick Dancer. He should come on this show. So, you guys, we're out in, gosh, where are we? We're out in the...
Off the Territorial Highway.
Territorial Highway at Queens Bounty. It's working.
Oh, great.
And at Queens Bounty, and this is the Travel Oregon crew.
Travel Lane County.
Travel Lane County. I always get that, I think statewide all the time. So, hi, Bill. How are you? So, these guys are the worker bees at Travel Lane County. And you guys just wave. And don't wave at the bees. Okay? So, they're out here doing a tour because Queens Bounty is a local business and also a member of Travel Lane County. And so they do these periodic tours, right? You guys kind of go out and check out and see who these businesses are that are part of your bounty.
Exactly. We want to educate everybody in Lane County about our great businesses and the opportunities they have to come out and see great things like bees.
So did everybody sign their waiver? We've all signed our waiver in case we're stung. Come here, my dear.
Hi.
So as long as we got it rolling. So you are?
Jessica Jones, co-owner of Queens Bounty.
So you and your husband
Yes.
own the place, and you're both beekeepers.
Yes.
But you were the COO
At Ninkasi Brewing Company.
at Ninkasi Brewing. So she went from brewing to bees.
Only one letter difference. Beer and bees.
Yeah, she just had to drop the R and everything was good, right?
That's right.
So, and I've had honey beer and it's very good.
Yeah.
Not from Ninkasi, but from other beers.
Yep.
So how did you guys get into this?
Scott really likes honey, and so he started as a hobby just because he wanted to collect his own honey, and then he started beekeeping professionally for someone else's company, and then about 2 years ago we realized it was time to set out on our own and start our own company.
Was that scary?
Yes, it's still scary.
Yeah. I've been doing this for 8 years. It's still scary owning a
Yes,
business.
absolutely.
It really is. So in terms of how much do you guys produce? Or not you, but the guys, the drones and the girl.
We have 600 beehives, so the output per beehive will really vary, but a good year might be 100 pounds of honey per beehive.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
Look around you. I mean, this is
Yeah.
probably the best part, is just getting to work outdoors on beautiful days like this. I do a lot of interaction with our customers, so I get to meet people who like our honey and hear all the great stories. Scott does a lot more of the work in the field, so he often doesn't get to hear as much of that, but I like to bring him out so he gets to meet all the people who appreciate our honey. One of the other best parts is we do something a little different than most other local beekeepers, which is we keep every lot of our honey separate. So that's honeys from different yards around Eugene and different times of year. And that allows us to show different varietals of honey, just like you might grow different varietals of grapes and package an estate blend or a regular or a Pinot Noir versus a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Because it'll taste different depending on what the bee ate.
Exactly. We don't add a single thing to it. All of our honey is 100% pure raw honey, but you can collect different flavors of it based on what the bees were feeding on at different times of year in different spots around town.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So what are you going to tell these folks?
We're going to show them the bees. Scott's getting some smokers going over there so we can open some beehives. Right now it's very cold, and so we don't want to have them open very long. The bees are trying to conserve their energy and stay warm.
So don't bother them, you guys.
Yeah.
And if you stir them up, Andy and I are running.
Yeah.
Just like little babies.
Yeah. No, it's just neat to see them. I mean, you can see around us, there's a few bees out, and I mean, for February, this is a really clear, sunny day. They like this clear, sunny weather, but it is still a little cold for them to really start flying.
Any people who raise bees have my full support. Okay, Bill, you got Bill Daniels' full support.
Nice.
He's liking you. Okay, go ahead and take your guys. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this around and show you guys. I have a signal here, so I'm afraid to move too much. But look what I can do. I can give you guys a close-up. That's Steve right there. And there's the hives. See him out there? Hi, Nate. I know you're in Arizona, but guess what? In Oregon, we grow the best honey. So if you ever want some, you just have to order it, and we can get it for you. This is my nephew. It's in Arizona, of all places. Oh, man.
One thing we've got no one else has outside of this area is blackberry honey. So for better, the blackberries grow rampant around here, and the bees really love the blackberries. So when they come on, usually the blooms start around the beginning of June and are on those vines until about the end of June. The bees go nuts, and they'll make as much honey during that time as almost the rest of their season.
Seriously?
Combined. Yeah, they love the blackberries. So we can collect a pure sort of single source blackberry honey where they fed predominantly on blackberries.
So what do you want these folks to know when they're leaving? Because talking about your business, what do you want them to know about what you do?
We make pure raw honey, which is really important because a lot of the honey in the U.S. is either adulterated, it's coming from overseas, and it's being mixed with corn syrup or rice syrup, and a lot of people don't want that in their honey.
How do you know? I don't want corn syrup in my honey.
You can test for it, and apparently it's pretty rampant, especially with the stuff that's being
Seriously?
sold really cheap. Yep, especially the stuff that's being imported. There's a great...
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I
So
don't want corn syrup.
you want to make sure
I'm
you're
sorry.
getting honey, and one of the best ways to make sure you're getting real honey is to buy from your local beekeeper.
All right, Queen's Bounty. That's
Yeah.
it. All right. I'm going to eat bee boogers. I don't want any of that other stuff in there. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Steve, do you want to talk? No?
Nope.
He's going, no, I'm a beekeeper, man. So go ahead.
Walk a little closer.
You want?
Yeah.
Just come up here. Come here.
Say hi.
Okay.
Hello.
This is the beekeeper. This is Steve.
Scott.
I'm
Or
Scott.
Scott, I'm sorry. So how did you get started doing bees?
It actually, when I was 8 years old, I watched my great uncle and my dad requeen a hive, and I was too young, and they didn't have an extra bee suit, so I watched them from afar. And ever since then, I was kind of fascinated with it, and I got signed up through an OSU extension program, and
Because,
It
Scott,
just-
there's a lot more to it than most people understand.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than a lot of people think.
And to keep a colony, especially, I mean, I guess we could do a little thing about how people stop using pesticides and things because our bees are really super important.
Yes.
Our honeybees are super important to the environment, to all of us, and to what we're doing, and we're killing them.
Oh yeah, and a lot of the crops that are grown in the United States without the honeybee pollination, it just wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's
Wouldn't
not
be able
just
to do it.
honey; it's everything.
Yeah.
And there's a Save the Bee campaign. In fact, I think Glory Bee's having a race coming up here pretty soon on Save the Bee. So,
I think they do a 5K or 10K.
well, Scott, why don't you go ahead and take them? And I'm going to try to follow you. I
Okay.
may talk to Andy this direction so I can get him in there. But go ahead and take them out there, and then Andy Babora, come here, buddy. So we kind of need the sun in our face. So here.
That
So,
glare.
so Andy's from Travel Lane County, and there's so many things going on. So one of the things we like to do on his show is kind of tell you. We'll go find the combs in a minute, but I want to tell him some things going on around town.
Well, first of all, and Rick and I have talked about this before, but if you go to our event tab on our website, that's the place to go for all of the information about what's going on throughout the entire county. So everybody in the community can use that calendar. So there's
It's
just
really
a submit
easy.
tab. So if, again, it's something that you've got going on that would appeal to a visitor to come out, obviously we don't have a garage sale on there, but anything that would appeal to a visitor, we want on there, and our staff will kind of vet that and post it. But starting next week, you can go onto that site and sign up for a weekly email that'll come to your inbox every Tuesday. So it won't give you the calendar in perpetuity, but it'll give you the coming week.
That's
And so
awesome.
you can really plan for your week ahead.
You
And
guys, that's how I find half of my shows for people to take my people to. I just get them from Andy, and I also go on that site, and I know everything's going on. It's way better than looking on Facebook at events. You guys have everything on there, so it's super easy.
Yeah, lots of good information. It'll link you to the website of the event organizer, and so it's really super. Now, you've been hearing from Rick. He did his Valentine's Day special. We've got a Valentine's Day page that talks about specials that our organizations that are members of Travel Lane County also put out there. So that if you're looking for something fun to do on Valentine's Day, make sure you go into our Valentine's Day page and take a look at that.
That's awesome. That's a smart idea.
Yeah, we do that for all of the major holidays. Our members have specials in their businesses. The hotel lodging folks have specials going on. So be sure and take a look at that. The other thing Rick's been doing some good work around is the McKenzie River Trust and the Eugene Symphony's McKenzie Four Seasons Symphony concert this Thursday night. And I think you were saying there's some tickets left.
Yeah, I called them this morning, and Lindsay over there at the Eugene Symphony told me they have 70 tickets left. Now, that's out of thousands, so they only have 70 left. There's going to be a huge event. It's already, practically sold out, but there are 70 tickets left. So call the Holt Center, and you can get your tickets to that thing tomorrow night. It's going to have a video with old pictures, new pictures. It's the Four Seasons of the McKenzie with the Eugene Symphony playing while you watch this video unroll on the screen behind you. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah,
It should be really fun. Sponsored by Summit Funding, who is another one of our clients. So,
Yeah, we're really excited about that and glad to have been a part of it.
Ashley, I'll ask that question you have when we get back to the honey people. Okay, I will.
All right, now you're a coastal guy, so I know you like crab. And,
I love it.
And what do you know about crab this year is the season didn't open until really
Just
late.
like a week or two.
Yeah, so just kind of crabs finally hitting. And I noticed on our event page that the Habitat for Humanity has a crab feed down at the Cottage Grove Armory this Saturday at 5 o'clock. So support a good cause, Habitat for Humanity. Go down and eat some crab down at the Armory in Cottage Grove. So that would be a lot of fun.
And then we got March coming up. There's all kinds of stuff. Florence is kicking off all kinds of events. You can go on the Florence page and their Facebook page. I was looking there the other day because we're going to do some work with them, and I saw a bunch of stuff going on with Florence.
You know, they've got something going almost every weekend between the Florence Event Center, the art scene over there, the music scene, the coastal museums. There's a lot of fun things going on.
Again, you guys look on Glory Bee's website as well because the 5K bee run is coming up.
Yep.
And I don't remember when, but it's coming up soon. And that's the funding goes to help save the honeybee. So.
Yep, that's coming up. That is on our event page as well. How about some salsa dancing?
Well,
the Eugene Salsa Festival is coming
maybe
up.
not you and me.
It's
that might be really
not
ugly.
the chips and salsa kind. That'd be more my speed. But this is the Salsa Festival at the Valley River Inn, February 23rd through the 25th. So that'll be a lot of fun. The other kind of staple in our community this time of year is the Oregon Logging Conference, which is always a lot of fun to go out and see all the equipment. The kids love it. It's really a lot of fun. That's also February 22nd through the 24th over at the Event Center.
And there's something going on this weekend on Saturday at the ice rink. Because we're going to be out there live at 9:30 in the morning showing you little skaters and people telling you how you can get your kids involved in hockey. Because ice hockey is not as popular here on our part of the country, but in the East Coast it's super popular. But it's growing here, and people are really there's a lot of kids out there.
Yeah, there's a full slate of games. You've got the Eugene Junior Generals, and you got the Eugene Generals, and then you've got the club team from the University of Oregon that are hosting games there all throughout the winter, and I think it wraps up kind of mid to late February. So if you want to get out there, it'd be a good time to go check it out.
So you guys, what I'm gonna do. You got more?
Oh, one other thing, just because it's such a kind of a gem in our community over at Doris Ranch. You know
I run there every morning. Was there this morning?
The filbert blight had wiped out a lot of their orchards, and so they've been kind of restoring that, but also restoring native plants. Coming up on Sunday, February 24th, from 9 to 1, they have a party out there for planting some of these new plants, and so it'd be a fun time to go out, help them out, enjoy the park, and get out on the trails.
I will warn you, it's closed today, tomorrow, and Thursday for maintenance and stuff. So you don't want to go out there.
Yeah. Mark February 24th.
24th is your day.
All
okay,
right.
So Andy, I think what we should do, we're going to go out here, you guys, and here's what I'm going to promise you, okay? So if I lose you, I will shoot some video of this, and I'll stick it online with this later on. But I think we might be able to keep this, but you never know. You never know how this thing. So if I lose you, we will, yeah, there we go. There we go. Hold on.
Got the suit on.
Okay, so we have been warned that these are honeybees, and we might get stung, but it won't kill us because we're not allergic to them. And so Scott is smoking the hive to kind of calm the bees. We're keeping you guys. I'm happy. I'm not that scared. Oh, so here's some hives right here. And the bees are quiet right now. Oh, he's bringing some over. Whoop, there's a bee right there on the camera.
None of them were here natively.
So I'm going to have to put these away pretty soon. But they're just now starting to brood up, get ready for spring. Brood up means the queen has started laying eggs in the cells, and what they typically do is they lay in a circular pattern, and you see these half moons on frames. And when it starts as an egg for 3 days, and then it goes to a larva, and the larva stays till day 9, and then they cap it. And after they cap it, if it's a worker bee, it comes out on day 21. If it's a drone, which is a male bee, he comes out on day 24. And if it's a queen, she comes out on day 16, and then she takes her flight to go get mated with other drones in the area around 7 days after being released.
Scott, can you point to the different things on that frame and just
Sure.
label them for people?
So, what they like to do is they like to have honey reserves, kind of around the edges, and that way they can get to the honey and feed larvae right from it. And then a lot of times they'll pack pollen around that too.
And those are eggs in the center.
Well, they're capped
Yeah.
larvae. Yeah. I was hoping the queen would be on this frame, but she doesn't appear to
So,
be.
guys, we're at Queen's Bounty, local beekeepers, out near King Estates,
Any questions?
and with Travel Lane County. And that's Scott. He's the beekeeper, one of the beekeepers, showing us some bees and how they work. Somebody had a question. Hang on. Oh, here. Somebody said they heard that that honey is up, but production is down. Is that right? They didn't know. They just wanted to know.
Yeah, I think that was one of the statistics given recently. There was a really good documentary.
There, we're back.
Okay, so Netflix made a really good documentary called Rotten. It's a multi-part series, and the first episode is all about honey. We thought it was really accurate and really good. And one of the things they cover is that there's a lot more honey being sold than there is being produced, and that goes back to that honey fraud we were talking about earlier.
I saw that. Yeah.
Is how is the price of honey dropping because of the increase in supply, when all the surveys of beekeepers by the USDA and other groups are showing a decrease in honey production. Yeah.
So that's where the fake stuff's coming in.
Yeah.
So how do you know, though? I mean, are local people...
There's all kinds of tests you can do. I mean, this really goes beyond what we do here.
Can I do it? I mean, like me, I can do a test? Would I know?
I don't know. There are some things to look for. I mean, but, you know, they've gotten really good at adulterating this. So one of the simplest tests you can do is just look at honey under a microscope and see if there are pollen grains in there. But a lot of the guys making fake honey will sprinkle pollen that they buy in bulk into giant tanks of corn syrup and rice syrup.
That is so
which fools
wrong.
them. Yeah, so at this point, you know, in labs where they're testing honey that's been imported, they're doing things like nuclear magnetic resonance testing. So, I mean, the biggest thing is just taste it. A lot of people tell me they don't like honey, and I ask them if they've ever had local raw honey, and they say no, just from, you know, the cheapo bottom shelf plastic squeeze bear. I say, well, likely you haven't even had honey, so...
You mean when I squeeze the bear, that's probably not real honey?
Well, that's a package type. A lot of
Right.
great honey producers do
Just
use
stick
a squeeze bear,
local,
but,
though.
Yeah, I mean, if you can see the beehives, you know there's real honey being produced. Whereas if it's coming in a freighter from overseas, you don't really know what the source of that honey is.
Okay, Ashley said thank you. That was her
Okay.
question. You're welcome. So again, you can do what you need to do. I
Okay.
don't want to take up your time. So you guys, again, we are at Queen's Bounty, and this is the crew at Travel Lane County. And they're out learning because this is one of their new members. And so you guys are just finding out what they're doing?
Yeah, learning a little bit more about what they're doing so we can share it with other people.
Oh, okay.
Each stack is a hive. This was
It's a
Andy's
bit of work,
question.
but it's fun. It's pretty rewarding. Do you know what kind of bees you want to start with?
Not the killer bees. That's the answer.
The ones that make a lot of honey. Yeah, so one question we had over here was...
You want to be a beekeeper?
Yeah.
A hive is technically not the population of bees. It's technically the home for the bees. Vertical stack is...
All right, so who are you?
I'm Melanie Griffin.
So you want to do this?
Yeah.
You've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
So why?
Just because I feel like it would be like gardening, like a relaxing kind of a thing to do.
Are you kind of scared?
No. This guy's hanging out with me.
She's scared.
He likes me.
He's hanging in there with you. Hi, Connie. How are you? So we're out by King Estates at Queen's Bounty. They are producers of beehives. So that's their beehives, and they sell at Market of Choice and other local stores. And these are the folks at Travel Lane County who are here. And I've got bees coming around me. They're learning about one of their local businesses and members and stuff. So, come here, Stephen.
Hey.
So you guys, you got to meet. So this is Stephen.
Hey, how's it
So
going?
he's the guy who really runs Travel Lane County.
Oh, come on. Come on, man.
But you do all their social stuff.
I do a lot of all of our leisure accounts. So Melanie, who you guys just met, and I work with our social on Instagram and on Facebook and our Twitter, too.
So what can people, if they're signing up on Travel Lane County, you guys, because we're such a travel area that people want to go see stuff, you're keeping, what do they find on there?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, our Facebook and all of our social accounts, we have a lot of really amazing scenic shots and a lot of information on just what's happening locally. So anytime you guys are looking for like great events, things going on in town, special deals, we have a lot of that on our social channels.
And next week, the computer's getting some upgrading. And
that's right. Yeah. We have a new event calendar that's coming out here pretty soon, so that's something that we'll be pushing out. And we do a e-newsletter that's also a really great resource. So go ahead and sign up for our e-newsletter, follow our social channels, and we'll keep you guys informed as to what's going on.
So they just go to your website?
Yep, EugeneCascadesCoast.org. And you can see there, you've got a link to all of our social channels and different ways to kind of see what's in the newsletter there, too.
Yeah, so check it out, you guys, because it's really, you know how on the weekend, I get stuff all the time on Facebook. Where's a good hiking trail?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they're on here. Or there's a guy on here that you guys actually put some of Matt Cook's, he's on here right now.
Oh, yeah, for
Matt
sure.
Cook's, I'm airing him on my show now because he does some really fun little hikes and
Totally,
stuff. So
yeah.
we're going to start having him as a regular feature.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, Paula, guess where we are? We're out by King Estates at Queen's Bounty.
Beautiful day.
Oh, my gosh. And we're lucky we're getting a signal. I can't even believe it.
No kidding.
I'm shocked. So there you go, Paula. This is where they do beekeeping. And so they've been explaining to us kind of how this works and what happens. And they're a new member of Travel Lane County. And so Travel Lane County comes out here to meet them and find out what they're about so they can help promote them and tell people who they are. So, yeah. So if you guys can take this and share it on your page, it's super helpful to us and to them and to Queen's Bounty. And
so
other
unless
local
you're
providers.
laying eggs weeks out before you need them, you won't have a field force to go collect food for the hive. So they have to guess when food's going to be out and start laying eggs ahead of that because they don't want to miss their opportunity and then starve because they didn't collect enough food.
Cool.
Yeah.
So-
That's beekeeping in a nutshell.
So what can people do to help the bee?
There are a lot of great things. So one of the best is just plant pollinator-friendly plants. One of our favorite guides is on a website called Pollinator Partnership. They're a nonprofit we support, and they have a great guide for just about every region of the country. You can download the one for this region, and it'll tell you what plants grow well in this climate and which pollinators they support. Not just honeybees, but also butterflies and hummingbirds, all kinds of pollinators.
Did you know that my hummingbirds didn't leave this year?
I did not.
They
But I
stayed.
believe it.
They stayed because I treat them so well. I love my hummingbirds, and I'm going, you know what? I bet I can make them stay the whole winter because they love Rick.
Yeah.
And I have been feeding them, and I give them warm stuff on the cold days. Yeah, I'm a hummingbird spoiler. But it's fun because you really can do stuff to help the bees and stuff like that. And also,
You can avoid using chemicals on your lawn and on your garden so that you're not hurting bees, because even if you don't keep bees yourself, your neighbor's bees might be there. Our bees might be there. So if you're spraying anything toxic on your yard, you might be spraying our bees. So we only place our bees in homes around here where people don't spray, but bees can fly up to 3 miles from the hive. So
and bees only live how long?
40 days.
40
days.
days. So they got a short little life to do all that. And gosh, man, they weight reduction program for eating all that honey. They're buzzing around like crazy.
yeah.
They're movers.
Yeah, they are. And all those bees you'll see out flying around collecting all that honey, those are all the female bees. The male bees have one job. You might guess what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, Rick likes that.
Their one job is to go out and mate with queens from other colonies to pass their genetics over to those other colonies. And once they do, they die.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
Well,
Might want to rethink that, Rick.
But
don't
the
know.
flip
I
side of
think
that
I'm
is
glad
they
to be a
live
human.
kind of fat and happy up till that moment and don't have to do any of the work that all the other bees are doing.
Yeah.
However, you don't want to be a male bee in late fall. As the bees are headed into winter, they're looking at their stores and saying, we don't want to carry any dead weight into the winter, and we don't want to feed anyone who's not going to do any work for us.
So wait.
So they'll push the males out the hive
The
and rip their
girls
wings
push
off.
the males out and get their wings off?
I mean,
Oh, look at you. Oh, yeah. The Travel Lane County, the girls really think that's fun, don't you? Cut their wings off and throw them out in the dirt. Steven, you better get out of there. You're endangered species over there. Yeah, look at that. You and Andy.
It's already happened at Travel Lane County. Me and Steven, there's only about 4 of us.
you survived the purge.
Yeah, the purge. So there you go, guys. You do. And one side you want to be a bee. On the other side, it's not going to be a real long life. It could be prosperous, but you know what? You're done when you're done.
Yeah.
So girls rule in the bee colony.
Oh yeah. I mean, the queen bee. She's the main driver of
So
it.
Scott, is this the queen bee?
Oh yeah.
Thanks for letting us come out.
Thank you, of course. Yeah.
Andy, thanks.
Hey, you're welcome.
All right, Travel Lane County. Steve, I'm going to forget Steven before he's gone. Let's check his wings. He
Yep,
still has his
am I
wings.
still
Okay.
good? Okay, I made it.
You guys be nice to Steve, okay?
We're always nice.
Yeah. But then you could also say, but guess who does all the work?
That, yeah.
Yeah, we do, right?
We all do.
Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you again. All right, you guys, take this, pass it on your page, share it around to your friends, and thank Travel Lane County. Again, if you need to have information on stuff going on this weekend, any weekend, go on the Travel Lane County website. Somebody already put it on here, so appreciate that. All right, I will see you. What is today? Tuesday. Tomorrow, we got a special surprise. We're going to, well, I can't tell you because then that wouldn't be a surprise, but it has to do with barbershop people singing Valentine songs. And the person who's getting it doesn't even know it's coming. So that's coming tomorrow. And the rest of the week we're busy, but I don't remember because I'm 58 years old. So that's just how it goes. What's next? Scott. Excuse me, just a sec. Hold on, Scott, just a sec. What's next?
Where do we get your honey? Where do you want to go?
I already told him.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
you
good,
did.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
We're carried in a lot of the local independent grocers in town, and support your local grocers.
So local grocers is where you guys can find it, okay? Carrie Kurtz, you live up in the Portland area. You're going to have to call me and I'll have to send it to you. All right, see you guys later.